Chairman Paul Ryan with the Republicans are expecting tonight. Congressman, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Charlie. Welcome on the new gig.
Thank you very much. That's what we call it right here, a gig. So let me just ask, did you hear what David Plouffe said? And do you expect that there is a willingness on the part of Republicans to listen carefully and see if the president, in wanting to reform taxes, wanting to consider investments in the future, might be common ground?
Well, I heard what he said, and it sounds like we're going to get more of the same, Charlie. I think Norah O'Donnell pretty much pegged it. It's going to be a very political speech. We've heard good speeches from the president before. We've heard the same kind of rhetoric before, and look at the kind of results we're getting. So it sounds to me like it's going to be more of a spending wish list, more borrowing, more spending, and tax increases, which really disproportionately hit successful small businesses, manufacturers. If we're for more American energy and more manufacturing, then why is he opposing the Keystone Pipeline? Why is he proposing these new tax increases on manufacturers? So again, the rhetoric just doesn't quite meet the substance, and that's our concern. I don't think the president can run on his record. It's not good. He's not going to change his tune or his ideology. He's clearly dug in on that. And so I think he's going to resort to this divisiveness. And that's what's concerning to me, because it's going to be a politically divisive speech, or at least what we're seeing come before us is a politically divisive agenda that does not grow the economy or grow jobs. But unfortunately, I think he's going to double down on the direction he's taken us. Today marks 1,000 days since the Senate bothered trying to pass a budget. We have an economic and debt crisis, which only can be addressed if Congress gets to work and passes a budget. But his party hasn't passed a budget for 1,000 days, and it's just a record I don't think he can get around.
As you say that, there is a man leading the Republican primary race in Florida who described your efforts as social engineering. Speaker Gingrich, in an earlier conversation, as you well know, said what you propose to do in terms of cuts in Medicare and other programs proposed by you, social engineering.
Well, if he checked the tape, he took that back. He recognized that he misspoke, and he's actually endorsed what we proposed. Charlie, here's the issue. Medicare is going bankrupt. The president's new health care law puts a board of 15 unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats this year in charge of price controlling and therefore rationing Medicare. What we have said is, don't make changes to people 55 and above, but save the program from bankruptcy for those 55 and below, 54 and below. And the way in which we propose to do that is have Medicare work just like the program that members of Congress and employees have. It's an issue that is gaining traction and has bipartisan support here in the Capitol. And so this is something where we have put ideas on the table. We're putting solutions on the table, not just rhetoric, to try and fix this country's primary problems.
Ericka.
Another idea that's getting a lot of attention, and good morning, sir. Nice to have you back with us this morning.
Hey, Ericka, good morning.
Is this idea to have the wealthy pay more in taxes. Now, when you look at how the American people feel about this, there's an overwhelming majority that are in favor of it. Polling from Bloomberg, the Washington Post, CBS, American Express find the same things. Most recently, 68% of people support raising income taxes, taxes on incomes of $250,000 and higher. Is that something that you could perhaps at least have a conversation about?
Well, see, here's the issue, Ericka. What people just don't realize when they're given these poll questions is most small businesses pay their taxes as individuals. 8 out of 10 American businesses file as individuals, 9 out of 10 from Wisconsin. And so what that ends up doing is it raises tax rates on successful small businesses. They could go as high as 45% in a year from now. And the problem, Ericka, is these tax increases that the president is talking about, the money doesn't go to reduce the deficit. It only covers 8% of the president's proposed spending spree. The other 92% of the president's spending is on borrowed money. So we're not even talking about closing a fiscal gap. We're talking about taxing and spending and taxing successful small businesses more. I have a better idea, Ericka, which would be far better for our budget. Yeah. Instead of taking more from successful small businesses, why don't we just stop subsidizing wealthy people less? Income limit the government payments they get. Stop corporate welfare. Stop crony capitalism. Don't spend money on these people, which is what the government's doing.
Congressman Ryan, it's always good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Charlie. Good to see you too, Ericka.